Hey everyone, welcome back to Attacking Third. USA get a 3-1 win over Iceland, but the two game-winning goals for the US didn't come until late in the match. By the 56th minute, everything was tied up 1-1, and Emma Hayes thought, you know what? We got to make some changes. We got to bring in some people that are going to change the game. We're also going to get some senior national team debuts. In the 66 minutes, the U.S. brought on Gotham forward Yasmine Ryan, midfielder Jaden Shaw, and defender Casey Kruger, subbing out Mal Swanson, Lindsay Horan, and Emily Fox. Yasmine Ryan makes her U.S. women's national team debut, becoming the first player from TCU to earn a senior national team cap. 66 minute, Ryan subs on Darian. She goes out wide. She is on the right side with Casey Kruger underneath her. What'd you see from Yasmine Ryan? You thought she'd get a call up. Not necessarily in the front line, though. How'd you
Guys,
feel?
there's still plenty of games. For
Yep.
those who don't know, I did predict Yasmine Ryan would get called up, but I see her becoming a mock wingback when the US goes into a three-back. I totally see it. We've seen, and I think Yasmine Ryan has it in her because she is so solid defensively. But in this match, she came in as a forward, and I think she did really well. She got her first few touches, found her way into the game, and then we finally got to see her just start to cook how she does with Gotham, where she doesn't overcomplicate her game. She has incredible vision. I think she had one move where she was dribbling, she set some players up, had a scissor, put it on the outside of her foot, tried to slip somebody, but she just looked crafty and smart and technical and looked like this wasn't her first camp. It didn't look like her first cap with the women's national team. This looks like some players' fourth, fifth cap where they get minutes. So she looked confident. I think she should be really proud of herself. I expect her to get a lot more minutes in these next upcoming friendlies to really see what she can do because she also was taking shots and whipping balls in. She just looked confident. So she was actually one of my players that I was really happy to see get their debut. And even if this wasn't her debut, I really wanted to see her to get minutes in this match because I just think her season and the evolution of her game this year, she's really deserved it. And I think she actually upped the level of the players around her too when she came into the game, which is not easy to do with the personnel on this women's national team.
High praise, really high praise. You can say if someone comes in and ups the level, changes it.
Mhm.
Yasmine Ryan looked really confident. She looked really confident, really creative on the ball, really comfortable as well. Just a couple minutes later in the 70th minute, there was another slew of subs for the United States. Sophia Smith checking on, taking off Lynn Williams, and then Hal Hirschfeld, the midfielder, who was an alternate at this Paris Summer Olympics but never played. She got her first cap coming into the
Wild.
Sam Coffey. Absolutely wild. Sandra, with these changes and everything that happened, how did they change the game ultimately?
They brought the gas, honestly. They brought the juice, whatever you want to call it. They brought it. And I think there's a reason why the coaching staff said let's bring 26. We'll dress 23 for these games, these 3 games in front of us. And Emma Hayes has been very vocal about how there were going to be debuts, how there was going to be player rotation. And I appreciate and respect that like the coaching staff tried to utilize these sub windows with more or less kind of like for like type of substitutions. While I'm in agreement with Darian, I could see the vision for Ryan where maybe there's those sort of in-game adjustments and you have a player like Ryan on the pitch who can kind of fluctuate within those different types of formations. But for tonight, to see like Hirschfeld get a debut as well and sort of see her come in for Coffee and knowing what that midfield kind of were challenged with tonight in terms of the transitional defense and the possession that they had to have at times. I thought that she came in and was able to go ahead and fulfill those similar assignments that are maybe given to the starters. So I thought it was a good performance for Hal Hirschfeld as well.
Darian, how are you grading the performances of the debutantes tonight? Yasmine Ryan, Hal Hirschfeld?
Oh, this is so tough. I'm really put on the spot. Uh,
Also, like you
yeah,
gotta you also like the amount of time, right? We're talking like
yeah,
20-ish
Yeah.
minutes. It's like
yeah,
Doesn't
20
matter.
minutes.
You can still get a grade. You could do it however you want. Numerically, you could give him like 4 stars out of 5, 5 stars. You could give him an A, B, C, D plus and
you know what
minus.
you gotta say,
I will
Darian.
give I will give Yasmine an A, because I think she came in and she really did look like she's been in training camp for a month with the I don't think she skipped a beat, maybe her first couple of touches, but who wouldn't maybe screw up their first couple of touches going into their first camp, first game with the women's national team. Hal Hirschfeld, I would give a B. I think she came in with so much energy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
which, hey, we have all done this. You just jump into your first game or whether it's college and you just run.
Run.
You're
Yep.
all you're overrunning the ball, you're overrunning the play. It happened a bit, but she's also such an intelligent player. I'm sure she was aware of it, but there's so much nerve and so much excitement going into this, and I don't think she even got enough time for us to actually see her full game because at that point it was, "Let's just block Iceland, they're coming at us." The midfield job, going to that 6th position, you have so much to do, so much to be aware of, which I think she did a really good job of. It was just we didn't get to see her move the ball, I think, how we're used to seeing it, so that's why she gets a B in my book.
There's something to be said about calling in a player that has a couple professional years under their belt. Someone like a Yasmine Ryan at
Yeah.
25 years old, she's won 2 NWSL championships, coming off one last year with Gotham in 2023, and she's played significant minutes at multiple clubs in the NWSL. Hal Hirschfeld, 23 years old, she's a rookie in the league. She, although talented and incredibly mentally has a very high soccer IQ, you could see that there was some nerves. I think there's an element to be said about bringing in players that just have a little bit more professionalism under them. I mean, it,
Mhm.
Yasmine Ryan looked like she belonged, and Hal Hirschfeld looked like the little puppy that was just like excited to get out
It
there.
was just, like, really excited to play with his teammates,
Yes.
yeah.
I love it. I love
Which
it.
we can all appreciate.
I totally can, totally can. Of these players, outside of Yasmine Ryan and Hal Hirschfeld, who got their debut tonight, we also got to see Jaden Shaw, Casey Kruger, and Sophia Smith get minutes and time. Sandra, who influenced and who helped change the game the most out of those three specifically?
Oh boy, it's so tough because it's like they had such similar yet different kind of windows, right? But I we gotta this is where we gotta give love to Jaden Shaw, right? This player is so special that to the point where the coaching staff is still talking about how kind of not detrimental, but just what an outright bummer it was to know how talented this player was, but the injury kind of they had to manage throughout that Olympic tournament. And when we see her come into this match alongside a Casey Kruger, and I think it's very special to note that the two of them linked up for this goal because Shaw has the ability to yes, we know she likes to play as a 10 and we've seen her there and she said that maybe like, yeah, of course she's comfortable and like in his ideal there, but her talent and level is so good that all of a sudden you see her as whether it's a 10 or turning into almost like a 9 and then maybe she could just go ahead and cook at the 8 if you want to have her there, but in this moment where we see Kruger kind of like do a little bit of a trend spin move of her own on this day, her and Shaw kind of forcing Iceland to play freeze tag because the defenders that we're talking about transitional defensive moments, Iceland did not know what had hit them at that moment between Kruger's combination with Shaw. And once Shaw has this ball at her feet in the box, turning on the moves and nailing this goal was incredible. Absolute impact player for sure.
Absolutely. 85th minute, Jaden Shaw gets the second goal for the United States to lift them 2-1 over Iceland. It is her third game-winning goal and her eighth U.S. women's national team goal. She also does it in her hometown state. Shaw's from Frisco, Texas, and she gets this one in Austin, Texas. Dee, what'd you see from this goal from Shaw?
Wow, shout out Frisco, Texas. Uh, when she
You
came
say
in,
that today, did you?
no, said Frisco? I love a Frisco. I thought Shaw was so impactful. I totally agree with everything you and Sandra are saying. For a player to come in, and especially in that position where she's playing that 10 false 9, and for her to be confident enough to I'm just gonna make this run forward and watch me go 1v1 and slice and dice, and then get a little toe poke on it to push it underneath the keeper for a goal, for a game-winning goal is so incredible, and you can just see everything she wanted to do during the Olympics that she wasn't able to do due to injury just culminate in that moment where she finally gets a goal. I typed out in my notes, "Are you not entertained?" My
Yep.
word.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
what we've been missing. Like, oh my God. The future is so bright with this women's national team. And I think Shaw is one of those players that is just leading the way. And I don't think we've seen her ceiling at all. I don't think
Yep.
we're going to see it for years to come because we just keep seeing levels of her game keep improving, keep gaining confidence. And I don't think anyone's going to be able to stop her.
Limited minutes tonight for Jaden Shaw. She did get time in, subbing in ultimately in the 66th minute, and then getting this goal in the 85th. And another immediate response from the United States comes in the 88th minute. Sophia Smith scores the third goal for the U.S. It is an absolute insane half volley that bounces to her outside the 18, and she strikes it. It's actually redirected. She plays a little slip ball through. It gets blocked by an Icelandic defender and redirected back out to her, and she capitalizes on the moment when the ball falls to her. Her 9th goal of the year for the United States. Sophia Smith at 25 years old. She's the oldest goal scorer in this game for the United States.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy to think about. 19-year-old Alyssa Thompson, 19-year-old Jaden Shaw, and then 25-year-old Sophia Smith. She's still young, though. It's this goal, Darian. I want you to talk about this one because uh, talk about Sophia Smith's goal and then the difficulty differences between Jaden Shaw's goal and Sophia Smith's goal. Which one's perhaps more difficult?
Oh,
Ooh, they're so different, it's hard to say because what I love where they're both similar is it's instinctual. Both of these players are attackers. You're
mhm.
thinking in these moments, you have tunnel vision, goals here, I'm gonna get there, and I'm just gonna use this touch, finish. And Sophia Smith's goal, let's break that down first. She tries to play slip ball through to, I believe, Alyssa Thompson, and defender deflects it. It's a really poor clearance by the defender. She takes a touch, it bobbles up, half bounce. You see her chest get over the top of the ball. Her abs are locked in, and she just strikes it. But the fact that she's able to have so much finesse on it and keep it low, bottom corner, just shows such a of her quality that we've missed for so many games in the NWSL. And you have to know that goal felt so good when you come back from injury and your limited touches, limited minutes you get in the game. You get to put the nail in the coffin for Iceland was so impactful. I do think Shaw's goal, though, is probably more difficult. I mean, she's coming from a deeper position. She's dribbling past 2, 3 defenders, slipping it under the goalkeeper. Everything is kind of a stretched touch, and she's able to get the goal. But so decisive, so instinctual from both of these players that are just through and through goal scorers, finishers, and winners.
Mentals, just excellent presence of mind, I think, for on both of these goals. And I think especially for So Smith in a different type of awareness for understanding the momentum that they were sitting in that moment to just have that ball and make that very quick decision to go ahead and put your body through it, let alone ankle, right? That's also a thought I had. I was like, what ankle injury? Like, look, like out there
Yeah,
making a shot like
exactly.
this as if she hasn't been dealing with, with her own sort of injuries down the stretch. But incredible stuff here. I believe I referred to it online as like a final boss level type of goal. It was absolutely the killer for the night.
I loved both of these goals. Okay, so of the 3 USA goals, before we go to another break, who had the best one? Alyssa Thompson, Jaden Shaw, or Sophia Smith? Sandra?
God, they were all so good, Lisa. Why do you do this to us? I'm gonna go with Shaw. I'll go with Shaw.
Darian?
I'll go with Alyssa Thompson.
Oh,
The
that
teens.
one's good.
The
Guys, I'm
teams.
gonna go with Sophia Smith. I
I
honestly
like it. We gave them all credit. I like it.
I
I
didn't do that
agree.
on purpose. I think Sophia Smith was so good. Do you know how often, like, you practice that as a player?
Uh,
Like, you want to strike that ball. It feels so clean. It's so powerful. You are, like, hungry for an opportunity like that, and she just buries it.
Yeah,
She
to have
buries
that
it
sweet
too.
spot
Yes.
and keep it
love it.
low.
Yeah, so
Yep.
hard to do through traffic. Mwah.
Yeah.
So dang
She's
good.
like, "You all missed me?"
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
No.
Especially coming in off the bench, just 15 minutes before, 18 minutes before. Not a lot of time for her to get in the game, but she didn't need a lot of time. She does it. Sophia Smith scores the third for the U.S. in the 88th minute. 85th, Jaden Shaw gets on the board, and Alyssa Thompson in the first half, 39th minute, to give the U.S. a 3-1 win over Iceland.